We have a lot to do, so let me tell you what I have in mind. This is going to be long, so please get ready for this. I don't typically speak for an hour, and I hope I don't have to speak for an hour next time, but there's a lot that I would like to share with you. First of all, I just want to, what an incredible, powerful endorsement of our model by the government of Canada. My goodness. Wow. Just remarkable. Very pleased, very pleased. I mean, Minister Clement we couldn't say it better. And I want to tell you, if you haven't checked the news in the last 48 hours, out of India, Minister Pilot has opened the door like never before to work with ICANN. Tremendous news from India. We met with Minister Pilot in Budapest a few days ago. And he felt good enough that he actually went public with his support for the ICANN model. This is remarkable. So I do think, I want to thank again the team that has worked with us from Canada. And Minister Clement's words are really heartening and give us heart as we go forward with this important mission. So thank you for that. Thank you, Heather. I don't see you, but I'm here. Thank you as well. Thanks. Okay, it's a new season. Before I start talking to you about this, I want to bring to your attention what makes me stand on the stage, what I think makes us all come to these things and keep working as hard as we do. This is Malala, the 11-year-old girl who decided to write a blog in Urdu to keep her school open. Today, she's battling for her life, and we just found out that she is being transferred to the UK this morning for treatment. And she's, while we're sitting here, enabling the continuity of this medium that allowed her to speak her mind. I ask us all to keep her in our thoughts. I, for sure, will offer my week, my successes, my failures, everything that happens this week for her to be better and to get well. But let's not forget that this is why we do this. At the end of the day, this is why we do this. A new season indeed. There's a lot on my mind, and I spent, as I told you, the summer listening. Let me tell you what I heard. First, and remarkably, lots of goodwill from all of you. My goodness, I have not started any endeavor before where everyone I talk to says, how can we help you? How can we make this better? Yes, it's all broken, there's all these issues, but how can we help you? The pent-up goodwill for ICANN is ICANN's biggest capital. And next to that, it's our people. It's all of us, the people that make this happen. That's what makes this possible. So the goodwill and the people behind this is what makes ICANN possible and what makes our mission really worthwhile. That I heard plenty of in the summer. Equally, I also heard many other things. I heard that we need to work on the way we deliver things at ICANN, that there is much to be desired to improve our operational excellence. I heard also that we're very US-centric. And you know, I'm not going to continue apologizing about this. The internet started in the US. But now it's time for it to truly be the world's. And we will make that happen. But I'm not going to apologize for where this came from. When we see people like Dr. Crocker and Dr. Postel and Vint Cerf, we understand that these people did something great and gifted it to all of us. But now it's incumbent upon us to take it to the world. And they gave it. But we are too centric, US-centric, today in ICANN in our decision-making. I just realized this summer, for example, that not all stakeholders on the planet happen to be in LA. We'd like to invite them all to LA, but it's crowded enough right now that I think it's best we go to them. So ICANN needs to go to the world, needs to get closer to its stakeholders. We cannot tell the world that we're close to our stakeholders when all the decisions and all the staff is sitting in Los Angeles. That doesn't work, and we will fix that. Okay. The other thing I heard this summer is that our communications are not up to snuff. We do everything we can, we communicate a lot, we engage as much as we can, but it's not enough. And frankly, when I saw the amount of effort being put on engaging and communicating, it's actually a tremendous amount of effort. But what we're missing is a plan. What we're missing is putting it all together in a structured way so that we can engage with all equally, locally, in ways people understand. This is very important. It's not about announcing that I'm opening a new office in New Delhi. That's not what that is about. What it's about is to understand how we're going to engage with the people of India, for example, and bring them into the fold. That's what it's about. And that's how the listening that we did this summer yields me to this. You, the community, and our board, which is part of our community, put together a 3-year strategic plan. That plan is available on the web. I read it multiple times. I understand it. Then from that plan, you develop a yearly operating plan or operations plan and a budget to support that. I also read that, and I kind of understand it. But it's there. We have an operations plan. But I am going to base my work in the next few months on these plans. It is not my role or my job to do anything but to put the work you've asked us to do to work. And so I'm creating a management delivery set of objectives, a management delivery set of goals, and then to support these, I'm going to create a system and a structure and a set of tools to make it all happen. Today, I'm going to show you this. This is what I have in mind. I'm spending the whole week here, pretty much booked from 6 to midnight every day, but we have time between midnight and 6. You can talk to me, you can give me input. I'm very, very open to listening and adjusting this. But let me say something. Once we move, we're going to move. There is no time for hiccups here. And there is no time for backtracking. So let me share with you what I have on the management delivery. First, let me talk about the objectives. Listening to all of you, I came up with these 4 key objectives. The first thing is that we need to do things to continue affirming the purpose of ICANN. Secondly, we must get to operations excellence, and I spoke about this in Prague. Thirdly, we have to internationalize ICANN. And lastly, we must evolve this multi-stakeholder model so it keeps working for us. The multi-stakeholder model is designed to evolve, not to stand still. If it stands still too long, it's going to break. We have an expanding community, we have expanding work to do, and we must make sure that model works for us. Now, let me break these objectives down for you. And this is going to take a little time, but this is a very important set of messages that I want to share with you, and I want your feedback on in the days ahead. What do I mean by affirmation of purpose? We've designed 4 goals under that. The first is to continue delivering with excellence our core internet functions, which are well-defined in our bylaws, in our mission, and we all understand. Secondly, we must act as a steward of the public interest. We must have the courage to stand up for the public interest and do it consistently, not symbolically, in reality in how we do our work. Thirdly, we cannot remain a fortress. We cannot say, we do our thing, here's the walls, good luck getting in, and we're protecting ourselves. No, we must engage in the internet governance ecosystem. We have something to be very proud of. We must go out and tell the world what a great thing this model is and engage with the whole internet governance ecosystem. And lastly, we must deepen our partnerships with the other internet organizations that work with us. We must work closer with them. ISOC, IETF, the W3C, the RIRs, all these great organizations that make up this fantastic canvas that makes all this work. We must deepen our partnerships with them, and we already started doing so. I think this next goal is where my experience comes. We must raise the level of operations excellence at ICANN. We will not scale without this. We will not do our basic work without this. So first, we must institutionalize management disciplines. We must put them in place across ICANN. It's not an art every time. We don't create every process every time we start it. We have to put in place standard operating mechanisms and then institutionalize them across ICANN. Secondly, we must mature the organizational functions that support us. We cannot continue functioning like a startup. We have to have the back-end organizational functions that make the great team at ICANN and the great community around it, all of us, function more effectively. Thirdly, we must optimize our services to the growing number of registries and registrars. They come to ICANN to get their business done. It is our job to get their work done for them. And that needs to be raised to a new level of excellence. And lastly, we must plan for scale, securely, and for continuity. No organization that is expected to grow and to serve with the discipline we plan to make ICANN work without a plan for continuity and scale, and certainly all in a very secure way. Our third objective, to internationalize, is probably the one you all discussed the most in the last few years. And when the board asked me, what is your internationalization strategy? I said, I don't have one. I think if we do an internationalization strategy, we already externalized the job. Everything we do from the bottom up must be international. Every department we have must be assigned to look after the world. It must get into our DNA. If it doesn't, we're going to have some separate plan to be international outside of our normal plan. And I've seen this happen. I've worked in major multinational organizations where the first way to internationalize is to send people and put them out in posts and wait for the communiques. It doesn't work this way anymore. All successful international organizations have completely taken all their departmental teams and flipped them upside down and made them completely matrixed and global. That's the only way this will happen, and I'll share this with you in a little more detail in the next slides. And so, one thing that came up a lot this summer, how could you claim you're going to internationalize given the intricacy of all your government relationships? So yes, I acknowledge that a central part of our plan to internationalize has got to be evolving our government relationships. And we will do this calmly, we will do this with care, and we will do it deliberately. There is no rush here. We are working fine, but we need to understand that this has to evolve, and I think all the governments we're working with today in the last, this is my 40th day here, in the last few days I've been here, all the governments I met with are very supportive of us evolving into this position. This last objective is an important one, and it's not last because it's least important, but because it's the one that I believe is the most medium to long-term objective for us. We must evolve this model by optimizing our policy development processes. I know that many of you here say, it's working, but frankly, many of you say we could make the policy development process even better. We must evolve these and optimize them. People need to come to ICANN and get their policies done in an effective way. Secondly, we must increase and improve the participation in ICANN. I heard all summer participant fatigue. People tired. Lots of work, lots of hours. We cannot sustain this. This is not a way for ICANN to grow. So we have to absolutely increase the number of participants, but also improve Give them the tools, give them the training, give them the mechanism so that they're doing a better job for ICANN. Our SO and AC structures. This is not the Holy Grail. We need to look at them. We need to evolve them. We need to work to see, do these cover all the stakeholders? What else do we need to do? How do we evolve them and make them better? Together, we should be open to this and understand that the ground is now shifting and moving to a new ICANN, to a new season, and we must look at all these things critically but calmly so that we can do the right thing. Now, this final point is one that I brought up in Prague, and I want to bring it up again here. None of this will be possible if it's not done in a framework of true ethical standards that we live by, that we don't just put on a nice little chart and check, that we all live by. And I know that our board of directors has risen exactly to where they need to, and I'm very, very appreciative and proud of the position they took on their conflict policy as well as on the broader ethics understanding. And we too, on the staff, you can count on me because it starts with me. And on this, I want to second what our chairman said before. We have an ombudsman. Where is Chris? Is he here? Chris, is our ombudsman here? Here he is. Stand up. You can't miss him. Here he is. Reach out to him. Reach out to him. You can tell him everything from I don't like Fadi's ties to I don't like Steve's jokes, whatever, or we don't like the way this works. This is his job. He's here for that. And I think you are in room Dockside 4. So you can find him. He's in Dockside 4. And by all means, he's here for us, for all of us, to make us better. So please reach out to Chris. He's available anytime for you. Thank you, Chris. Now, before I leave this important slide, which actually is, you just looked at the heart of all the things I'm going to be doing. Today, I want to recognize an effort that started quietly in Prague, but then grew and became a public success today that I want to share with you. In Prague, I had the privilege to meet with the African delegates, all the people coming here from the continent of Africa. And it was special for me because I'm the first African ICANN president. I come from Egypt. And I looked at them and I saw how long it's been before they felt they were included in the process. And we shared immediately the agreement that we will engage to take Africa to the next stage. It's time. And they rose to the challenge. So I want them to stand right now because what they did, they went back to Mauritius also with help from Tarek Kamel, whom I'll introduce later. And they worked together from the bottom up, just like multi-stakeholder models should work. It was a great example. And they put together a very impressive strategy for Africa. This is a breakthrough. And they will be presenting this today, I believe, at 4 p.m., right? At 3 p.m. Please go and support them, because this is a step forward in us embracing other parts of the world that need to be brought along. And Africa deserves this. And Latin America is also embracing this, and I believe there are some good activities starting at this venue to start getting Latin America help everywhere we can. So to the African delegation who's worked on this strategy, please stand so we can recognize you. Please stand. Thank you. Thank you. We're glad you're here.